all my fans. We're here live at Ruchita's office with a bunch of lovely people and of course all of you guys waiting to hear all our stories and different takes on food, pregnancy, post, pre, everything. So of course lots of questions and lots of banter is going to be expected. All my fans from Egypt, Portugal, everywhere waiting to ask lots of questions. Palestine, my God, so please, I want to know what all you are so curious to ask. Peru, please. What are they asking me?
They are all dying right now, first of all, because half the people have been calling me on the phone like choking, saying, can you please get her to say my name?
Oh God! I would love to come there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think the next Facebook Live should be in one of these countries. I think so, huh?
I would love to travel there. And then of course try their local food, eat local, think local. I think all Ruchita's clients know exactly that, and we're of course very excited because tomorrow is the pregnancy big book launch, which Ruchita has written painstakingly about so much information out there for pregnant women, post-delivery, pre-delivery. What all information. I mean, she's written. I think that most people don't even try to address those issues. So the book, I think you've addressed those issues.
Yeah, but that's only because you got pregnant.
That's so that's true. The book only happened because I got pregnant. I was thinking that I should have one more pregnant. It's barely been 6 months. I managed to lose some weight. Please don't do this to me, Ruchita. Not one more.
No, but you're in great shape, and a lot of people feel, as they have always felt, is that one has to really suffer salads and soups so that they finally lose weight. And this is something I guess that we experienced even during Russian time.
Yeah, of course.
No, she cannot be eating everything. And
Yeah, of course. Everyone said she was always having orange juice and But I think of course with us the motto has always been to eat to keep fit, eat to lose weight. Of course the first book, Don't Lose Your Mind, Lose Your Weight, was, I think it's been a sensation.
Yes.
So we're hoping that the pregnancy book also is going to be a huge sensation because it has so much good information out there, like what all people should have during pregnancy, and I think that it's helped me. A lot of people have commented, if I might say, that but we to see Kareena go to the gym every day. But I would also like to say that it's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of motivation also that's needed, and the idea is not to lose weight instantly. The idea is also to feel good about yourself as a woman. If you've had a child and you've been a mother, I think it's absolutely normal to want to kind of just go out, get onto the treadmill, do a few stretches, do a bit of yoga, go to the gym to feel good about yourself. And I mean, I don't think it's been a rapid weight loss. In fact, I think I'm very comfortable in my skin that I give it time till Taimur's first birthday. He was born on the 20th of December, and I think we give it an entire year of getting back, because a lot of things that have happened hormonally are taking that much time to go back hormonally.
Absolutely. And also what is very important to remember is that you have kept fit for at least 10 years before having him. So it's not just about this 1 year post the baby, but it's almost like a lifetime of being dedicated towards one's fitness and well-being. And
like I said, that going to the gym is also about feeling good. It's not that instantly we want to shrink and lose that much weight. It's been a gradual process of food and workouts together, which has led to even this much. But we still have another 6 months to go, which we're giving ourselves, because so much, like I said, so much has happened. Whether there's suddenly I noticed also that in the monsoons after my delivery, I have had a lot of hair fall. Suddenly, and of course it's probably the weather, it's also the combination of the fact that probably it's also post-delivery, a lot of vitamins are still coming back into the system. We're doing that, and we've always compensated with food. And that has also helped a lot.
Of course.
Please give them a lot of insight for hair fall, which a lot of women want to go into that after pregnancy, and which has happened to me. So please say what you have given and prescribed for
You know, I really feel that I of course love you, but I feel as a professional, her most endearing quality is that she's always so real about everything. I really doubt that there would be any other actor across any kind of a stream who would say, oh, I went through some bit of hair fall during rains, you know. And a lot of people tend to feel this ke stars ko hamare jaisa problem nahi hota hai. You know, खाली मेरे बाल झड़ते हैं, stars के नहीं झड़ते.
But what do you mean? I think that we're the most, why not? We're the most normal people, no?
Yeah.
It happens to us as much as it happens to everybody else.
Yeah, but no one really, you know, thinks that way, because mostly people just have, you know, access to such perfect images that sometimes they may kind of completely overlook that there is a whole lot of hard work and a lot of normal life behind all this. Just one second, would you like a chair? And what a chair? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So for hair loss specifically, what you can do to begin with, chumpy, you know, so
Chumpy,
yeah,
massage,
who would want that? And your pictures of going to the parlor are also well documented. You know, आज Kareena ने क्या किया? Oh God. Okay, so adding coconut to your diet in all forms, because a whole lot of times
Coconut chutney with idli.
yes, something that
Breakfast.
yeah, with a little bit of ghee on top of it. Also, dry coconut in the form of a laddu or in the form of a halwa is something which really helps you replenish your hair and prevents hair loss and also prevents graying. And then there is til, you know, the last time,
Tilka laddu, yes.
the tilka laddu or tilka mithai, or adding til to our regular tadkas in sabzi or in a salad. Not salad as in, you know, eating salad for lunch or whatever, but the kind of salads that a lot of times Maharashtrians tend to make, like koshinbirs, you know, so adding a little bit of tadka onto that. And then not to forget the chakli, yeah. So the other day, interestingly, Bebo said to me that the only time that something goes very big is when they hashtag it. So she was like, okay, now this is gluten free, and this is cruelty free, and this is dairy free, and this is you know, compassionate amino acids. But no one really thinks of local food like that. You know, unless, of course, there has to be a star who endorses it, and then everyone is now eating dal chawal thanks to you.
Makhanas are being sold in theatre.
Yes.
I mean, do you want to cut the royalty from that?
Yes, of course.
We are in all the cinemas. Makhana, suddenly it's just makhana everywhere. Before that, everyone never even knew makhana.
Correct. Now it will be chakli also.
Yeah, now. And chakli packets are being sold.
Yeah.
Before that was sing chana.
Correct. And now it's like also this whole chai masala. So I was in New York recently, and there's this big eatery, they're called Eataly, E-A-T-L-Y, where they sell all the big health food and stuff. And one of the things that they're now selling is peanut butter with Indian chai ka spices.
In it?
Yeah, in it. So that's like the big thing, because they're trying to copy the Indian chai and Singana. So, you know, if we manage to get royalty from theatres, then that's the next royalty that we should.
But why not just have tea with a handful of peanuts?
Because I think, you know, that people are wanting to take everything when it's packaged in a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's very important that to maintain good health, we are able to see through all of the packaging and see through the whole pretense of this being healthy and what is cooked in your kitchen being not healthy. Because the only reason why you're looking like the way you're looking is because you've kept it very simple with food.
Yeah, always. That is never going to change, because I love my food. I love the fact that, you know, I get to eat all my normal food, of course, at the right time, the right quantity. But I'm not going to sacrifice that for anything. And you know, we always included whatever I like.
Yeah, you know, ghee also for good hair, skin.
Ghee, a lot of joints. Taimur is also going to start having ghee.
Yeah.
You should start at a young age.
Yes.
7-8 months is a good time to start.
True. But I think it takes a great deal of confidence to really patronize the local, you know, to really patronize what is being cooked in your kitchen and say, yes, I am going to get thin eating this, and I don't need to be eating out of boxes or packages or out of labels to sport those washboard abs or a skinny figure.
Washboard abs, we had them in touch and we were eating everything.
So no one believes that.
That now you know how it is, but through this book. But of course, I think everybody is very excited to buy the book and get it
of course.
Read what all is in it. But you should tell my fans also that what all a little bit about the book. Everyone's been asking me that when is it out? When is it out?
I know. Well, first of all, I must admit that the book got out in the rest of the world much before it got out in India. And I do know that some people are very upset that it's not released in India yet and it's just across the globe. And for that, I truly want to apologize, and I also want to say that it is not in the author's hands when the book gets released. So instead of being upset, we should also be happy that world over people are waking up to what is being done in India, and companies like Amazon are printing books on demand and making them available across the globe. And once Bego releases the book tomorrow, then I'm sure we'll all have our hands on it. But just to tell you briefly what the book has, the book basically works at explaining the importance of staying fit well before you even consider getting pregnant.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
That's the number one message, because when Bebo and I worked together in 2007, she was not thinking marriage or pregnancy or any of those things. She was just committed to her work pretty much.
But I did tell you when I was planning.
I
said that I am planning this and we should, start really preparing and being really fit from before. I remember I had called you.
Yes. But what also works very well is a very fit husband. So we should give Saif credit for that. Because just today, I think Times of India carried one big report saying Indians are the laziest people on earth.
Really?
So one of the reasons
are?
I surely think the urban Indian man is, because they're very warm and stuff. But if they do look at our rural India,
that's just the farmers and all the way they work in factories here, there. I think that
you don't like the report.
Yeah, I do like that.
I mean, women have to walk sometimes for 5 kilometers just to draw some water out of a well. So it all depends on what kind of a sample they saw. Maybe they looked at just the urban elite, and we are very lazy. So you need good fitness levels, both the man and the woman, so that you can have a nice healthy baby. Because a lot of people have asked me, I told you that my baby doesn't look like Taimur, what can I do?
Eat lots of ghee.
Eat lots of ghee.
Lots of pasta.
Get very fit.
Get very fit before.
Before.
Chaklis.
Have a husband who can cook. Because Saif has been cooking some dishes.
The pasta, he's been preparing for his role also, chef. So he's been
cooking the
pasta. And she was like, eat it, have it.
I told her that could thumb rule his husband jo bhi banaye khao. So get fit before you get pregnant, and then throughout your pregnancy, based on the phase that you are and whether you're in trimester 1 or 2 or 3, stay committed towards your health, towards your fitness, towards eating right, because a lot of women almost feel that if they are thinking about themselves, they're not being good mothers. And that is something that we really wanted to address through the book, that the only way you do a good job as a mother or as a professional is when you learn to put yourself first. If you're going to be sinking in your health,
how are you going to look after your baby, or even give him that, or her that happiness,
that love or attention? All that you're going to be doing is being crankier than the baby, because you're not eating anything, so you can't deal with all of the new changes. So eating right is very important, staying healthy is very important, and then the book also addresses everything about post-pregnancy, why you need to eat in a certain way, how you need to nurture your body back in shape, and how you also need to understand that the shape that you are in post your pregnancy is perfectly natural. You don't need to get rid of your body fat like yesterday, because I know people are constantly like, ये इधर से अभी तक नहीं जा रहा है.
Of course, they must be calling you and telling you also.
Yeah. They're like, what are you giving Kareena that you're not giving us? So I was like, listen, she just has...
What are you eating? You should be telling that to everybody.
No, what I eat.
You have just come back from New York. What have you eaten there? People must be wondering now what do they eat on holidays? How does it, I mean that's also a very big aspect where a lot of people feel that they holiday है तो कुछ भी खा लो.
हाँ. और फिर
It's a big thing.
Yeah. फिर यहाँ आके
detox लो.
हाँ.
Just juices. Yeah.
Just raw stuff.
Yeah. So that's
just killing it on the treadmill. And I also told you, right, that the gym where you're training, the staircase, because the gym is on the 4th floor, and I would typically walk up to the staircase. Now I don't because there's a traffic jam, because your video of running up and down has gone viral.
Yeah, 2-3 people have been doing that.
So everyone in the gym is like now going up and down the stairs as well. Thanks to Vego.
But it's nice. At least it's a little bit of an outdoor activity for someone like me.
Absolutely. No, it's wonderful.
And it's better, I think, for my knees.
Yeah, which is the whole climbing up thing and stuff. But yeah, on my holiday, what I was eating is I ate avocado because that's local there. I ate beans and rice. I tried pasta. While I was in New York, I also tried Korean food because they have like this whole 32nd Street is this big Korean street. So it's really about enjoying the place that you are in, eating the local stuff, having a good time, because only when you're having a good time can you look good.
Yeah, of course. That's
otherwise
for sure.
you look like you're suffering, like something's wrong. But koi isko khana khila
So many of them must be wanting to also ask questions.
So yeah,
must involve them in the chat.
Correct. So you have any questions online that
you can start from here, then I'll take questions.
So questions, yes.
I have actually been following a lot with your food plans and all, but what I struggle with is keeping it interesting, because I try and eat local, in the morning with poha, upma, paratha at times. But at times I'm very limited, like I get bored of the same sabzi, dal, roti, like how can I keep it interesting?
Yeah. I think there are quite a few local sabzis also, no?
I've had loki, I've had turai, I've had bengal, but
She cannot understand. She'll eat like
I love
every day.
Kareena, loki. Today for lunch only I just had. Today's lunch was jawar roti, loki, and a little bit of dal.
Yeah. See, so for entertainment, watch movies, and for nourishment, eat food. Sometimes we just mix eating with entertaining ourselves. We are not eating to entertain ourselves. We are eating to get better connected to ourselves. And the more we simplify that process, the more joyful life gets, or the more life really opens out to us. Otherwise, we are constantly thinking, "Aaj kya khaun?" Variety se bhi aadmi bore ho jate hain.
That's all.
Yeah. When people have too much variety, they want to come back home and eat khichdi.
yeah.
Khichdi.
Yeah.
Rujuta swears by khichdi. Khichdi and dahi rice.
And if you eat that, you will look like this.
I had khichdi last night.
Yeah,
My
you will look like this.
sister is always like
Khichdi and dahi curry.
yeah, that is Rujuta's staple. Na? Anybody you see eating that, they'll be like, "Arey, you're a Ruju." Like I know everybody. Like my sister's come back from London and she was at lunch. And what is she eating for lunch? She was eating diet. I said, yeah, she was back on Rujuta's diet.
Yes. So, any other questions? Yeah.
On my 31st week.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know.
You're quite fit.
Yeah.
Very
And you're taking notes.
You're just writing things down. Just wanted to know what all food would you recommend for these 9 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you suggested for these 9 weeks?
See, in the book, for every trimester, I have superfoods. So based on the trimester that you are in, what kind of foods you should be eating, and also post-pregnancy, what is the kind of food
Depending
that
on what's taking place in that particular week, because there's so much happening, whether it's brain development,
Yes.
a lot of that is happening in the last trimester. So I think for that you have to read the book.
Well, any food, like see, if I tell you just like this right now, eat rice and eat moong dal and little haldi, those are the kind of superfoods that work well. And what you will need to do is make more meals around these kind of foods which already exist in our culture. But what has happened is somewhere we begin to think of English as the language of science. So when we do have traditional wisdom which is rooted in science being passed down by our grandmothers, just because it's in a vernacular language, we don't really listen to it. And that switch needs to happen in our minds. Because right now in San Francisco, GP ordered, I think, what did you order? French toast.
Yeah.
So he called for French toast for breakfast, and then so he had like this
Whipped cream and maple syrup and all.
Yes, and what else came with it? So there was French toast, very nicely plated, blueberries and strawberries on the side, and then one shot glass of maple syrup, and next to that was the same shot glass with some yellow liquid. So I didn't recognize that yellow liquid, and I asked the server, "What is this?" And he said, "Oh, this is clarified butter." And I was like, "Abhi ye log bhi clarified matlab ghee kha rahe hain." Clarified butter. Yeah. And the minute it's clarified butter and it's being served with French toast, it becomes very upmarket and upscale. But what we need to recognize is that the West is looking at countries like
turmeric now.
Yes.
Which
they
was
call
turmeric.
Yeah.
And now it's turmeric. Everybody's like, bedtime, haldi milk, haldi this, haldi that.
Turmeric latte. And then they were like, "Ye to hum log kab se kha rahe the?" Like, not before they carried articles on it.
Yeah, everybody's like, now it's a superfood, turmeric.
Yes. And then there is also drumstick, which is a superfood, but I think the West calls it moringa. So they're like moringa for everything, from omega-3 to more protein to more iron, folic acid, everything. So sometimes it's just about listening to homegrown wisdom versus really listening to the latest article, the latest blog, the latest tabloid headline, because a lot of times we don't even know why they're carrying what they're carrying. Is there a certain kind of funding which is making them promote certain foods as superfoods, or is there very cleverly hidden message of don't eat from your own home, eat from this packet so that you receive all of the nutrients that you need. So we really need to look at things with better perspective, but listen to homegrown wisdom and read the book, because the book is all about talking of this wisdom that we have had, but in more contemporary nutritional science words.
Okay. So a lot of questions online. So one is looking at Bebo makes me feel like having a child again.
She's also feeling
and her question is that if someone is carrying twins, then should they double the portion, or how does it work?
You are still one person only, no? So how can you?
Food is for one person constantly.
Yes.
And in fact, in pregnancy, I think it's what? Maybe 200 grams, a little more or something like that. It's not like, when you're pregnant, so you have to eat that much.
Also, every day the appetite shifts.
Yeah.
So some days you may feel like eating very
a lot.
little.
Yeah. But that happened to me also. I think in my last trimester, I was like dolloping the ghee, not just one spoon.
But that's why you're looking like
Yeah, I think it was like 2-3 on the paratha.
Yeah.
And it was like supposed to be one paratha for breakfast, but I'm like, 2-3 le aao.
But dil khol ke khao, that's really the whole.
Yeah, so that's the whole idea, is that I have also enjoyed pregnancy.
Yeah.
And I think that's also the most important, that being happy and enjoying that phase is also what has I think helped in everything in my life.
About your glowing skin. What did you
Glowing
do?
skin.
Yes.
Well, of course, I think the skin is a lot to do with more than like drinking water or anything. I would say skin is very, very related to the gut and food. And I, began to understand that, and I think over the years I've completely understood that if you eat right and eat the right amount, and so of course certain foods. I think I'm lucky to like eating Karela and jawar roti. I love it. I mean, I could have that 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like for lunch. So I think it's that the food combinations, the food eating is completely related to the skin. Most people think, "Arey pani peete," now go to the skin doctors and do all of that. But the idea is that first correct the diet, first correct the gut. That really helps.
Because the skin is made from the food that we eat.
Yeah.
And the gut bacteria also thrives on the food that we are eating. And a lot of times when we do go on diets, people come and ask us, "Kya ho gaya? Bimar ho gayi?" Because our gut bacteria is actually sacrificed.
Yeah.
And that's why the skin glow is also sacrificed. So on the one hand you're looking skinny, but on the other hand you're also looking like you've come down with something versus really healthy. So like rice is also a very good prebiotic.
Yeah.
And therefore like dahi rice is a great combination because it's like a prebiotic and a probiotic.
Or dal rice. A lot of amino acids in it.
Yes.
Which is good for weight loss.
Yeah, which is very good for weight
It's
loss.
needed, right?
Because it's also easy to digest. I think a lot of times people are eating foods which are alien to them, which they find very hard to digest, very hard to assimilate, very hard to, for the toxins to even pass out from the body, and then it starts showing on the skin, it starts showing on the moods. Good sleep is also very critical for...
You've always said that.
My neighbors not always listen.
Yeah. But now, my
Now
sleep patterns, of course, thanks to Taimur, I like to wake up early.
Yes.
Then I get more time with him in the morning, so I'm sleeping early and waking up early, which is like key. I think that a lot of my weight loss in this 6 months has happened because of the shift in my lifestyle and my timings also. Like sleeping at like 10:30 and waking up at like 7 in the morning has really, really helped me a lot.
So another question, sorry. I'll ask this.
Yeah.
So question is about what do you do for your morning sickness in the first trimester?
I think we used to just eat every 2 hours. So the idea is that to curb the morning sickness, but I know because I had a lot of that as well. But you had given something for that.
Yeah. A little bit of nimbu pani with kala
Namak and the shakkar.
Yes. Then chas with hing. Those are things that really help keep the acidity down. And yes, like she's saying that, eating every 2 hours and not waking up with a chai or coffee, eating a banana or something.
That was the golden rule. I think that's it's like engraved
in golden letters. Thanks to you.
Never have chai, coffee on an empty stomach. I think that is something that I'm sure she must have told you.
Yeah.
Banana in the morning.
Banana.
Kesar, pani. Yeah. Something.
Dry fruit, badam, and different things.
Yeah, that she loves.
And then we really enjoyed mangoes.
Yeah, through the season, so she has that. I think always like whatever's the fruit of the season, lychee. So many times we've done lychee, cherry, jamun we just did recently. So I think that she's still good. Eat local. That's the main thing. Whatever's the fruit of the season, which is right. It's fresher. It's available at that point. People are rushing to buy, Pali market to get these expensive fruits that come imported from Thailand and I don't know where all.
Yeah.
People are spending thousands and thousands of rupees.
Correct.
Rather eat one mango.
But I don't think, that people feel happy about eating good food. People almost feel
They
that
can't be happy because if they're spending also 40,000 rupees, then they're eating also, then they're not losing weight. Because like पैसे भी जा रहे हैं और कुछ हो नहीं रहा है.
Yeah. And this whole thing of just eat normal food and eat what is in season and stuff seems too simple. I mean,
Complicated. Yeah. It's too easily available.
Correct. Yeah.
True.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, is there any food that needs to be changed, anything in the diet that needs to be changed to control pre-gestational diabetes?
Well, there's a lot that you can do, and one of the big things is exercise, because if you exercise, you have at least the next 72 hours of improved insulin sensitivity. But the problem again is that a lot of women don't exercise when they're pregnant, and because they're so scared of exercise. But I do hope that the book also addresses that Bebo's worked out throughout her pregnancy, post her pregnancy. Obviously, you have to work out at a level that you are comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that the next 72 hours your blood sugars are regulated. And in terms of food, it's really about adding more fat to your diet, you know, so adding more ghee, adding more nuts, and ensuring that you're eating on time, because a lot of times what happens is that if you cut down on fat from your diet, then you need to eat a very large meal. And when you add fat, for example, if you're eating dal rice but you're not adding ghee, you will eat a lot more. The minute you're adding ghee and eating dal rice, your satiety centers work and you stop at a small portion. And that's when you go out and say, no, but she's been eating dal rice. Everyone's like,
What about dairy products?
dairy products you can eat, you know? Yeah, very much. She has a glass of
No, I
milk.
read an article that dairy products should be avoided for diet.
Read two more, then you will have more conflicting opinions. The thing is that we read articles to get information on food, when this information or wisdom on food really belongs to our kitchens and to our homes. It doesn't belong to articles. Who is writing these articles? You know, someone who has no training in this kind of a field. And on the one hand, just because someone wrote an article, we are ready to question time-tested wisdom, you know, wisdom that we have had for centuries together. So just like now, UN is celebrating Yoga Day. I think at some time UN will celebrate Dal Rice Day, you know, or Haldi and Milk Day, because they really want to bring to forth the wisdom that humanity is now losing. And I'm really happy that we have stars like Kareena who have so much of an influence on the youth, not just limited to the country of India, but across the globe. And if she promotes and patronizes local, it is something which helps not just improve public health, but also something which promotes local economy, something which promotes global ecology. And you know, when I was in San Francisco for an open day talk, one girl came up to me and she really had like tears in her eyes, and she said, my brother farms in Nagpur, and I really wanted to say that, you know, the work that you and Kareena are doing together has really helped him get more money for the rice and mango and stuff like that.
Yeah,
He's
eating
producing.
locally, grains that are made, you know, at home, back home,
Yeah.
and they are doing that. Of course, in a way, it is.
It
We're
promotes
supporting and promoting that, most definitely.
So that's
Wherever we go.
Yes. So now we'll go to Jordan and stuff and do all this.
There's a question for you from Egypt. Now that you're a mother, do you think differently?
I think, of course, I do. Definitely. That shift is just, it's very organic. It just happens on its own, you know. Earlier, it was more about just me and Sarah. But now, of course, everything is like, it's us. It's three of us. But, you know, we're not feeling it in any way because we really look forward to this. We wanted this and we wanted a family. So, it's amazing. Yes.
Another question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Then you're looking stunning. I just want to ask you delivered like 6 months back and you're already back in shape. So I just wonder, since when did you start working out, like after delivery?
I think that I was working out 45 days.
Yeah, about 45-50 days ke baad she started exercise, but she was very active.
Yeah.
You know, even in those 40-50 days. I don't know if you heard the last Facebook live, but she said this, that, you know, if she would sit with Taimur, then he would cry. But if she would give, she walks, then he's very happy. So I think have a baby who's used to you being fit.
Being active is key. You know? It's
Yeah.
not like, you know, you're pregnant, so that's
Maze
it.
karo.
You know, Indians are like me, you know, should have foot massage, bed jao, so jao, late jao, you know, khana bhi bed mein aa raha hai, you know, that kind of thing. But I was never like that. I always wanted to be like out and about all the time.
You were shooting, working.
Yeah, so I loved it, I wanted it. And that's why I think going back to exercise mode was much easier.
Yes, you have a question.
Yes, ma'am. You go daily in the gym, so what should you take pre-workout and post-workout meal?
What should it be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pre and post workout.
What is my pre and post workout?
Yeah,
I'm asking
yours.
what should you?
What pre-workout is always like a big breakfast because I'm a big breakfast person. I like to have my breakfast in the morning when I wake up. It's not like how people are like, okay, I can have a fruit and then go for my workout and then do. I need food the minute I wake up. It's also because if she says that to eat early, I've probably not eaten for 12 hours. So it just doesn't. My brains don't function. So I think pre-workout has always been like a good breakfast, which is like poha or eggs and toast. Yeah, ajwain paratha. And I think post-workout is always lunch.
Yeah.
Dahi rice. Something fulfilling, which is again like because I'm working out so much, so I'm also burning calories through the day. That's why we're doing lots of weight training also now, which also then it helps that you're burning through the day, right?
See, it's like this, that you do one weight training session, you have you're burning fat at a higher rate at least for the next 72 hours, yes, but for the first 6 hours it's really high.
So what is the difference between this functional training and weight training?
Functional training will use a little bit of both the aerobic and the anaerobic system, so you may get more tired doing functional training. But when you're doing weight training, which is really working,
but does it help also?
Once in a while, yes, but not just exclusively function. Exclusively just one type of exercise doesn't work. It has to be a combination. And when you're doing weight training, you are also putting forces on your joints, which are called as compressive forces, which really work at stimulating your joints to retain more bone mineral density, which is very important because one of the reasons why women look very flabby post pregnancy, even if they're thin, they start looking flabby, is because they lose out on a lot of bone mineral density. And it's important that we train correctly in the gym so that
what foods for that?
Yeah, and foods for that is of course there is ghee, there is milk, there is just simple stuff like usars and the dal and rice. If we just do that, you will have all of the right
a lot of pulses.
A lot of pulses. In fact, last year was UNFAO's Year of Pulses.
Yeah.
Again, because human beings are no longer eating the kind of pulses that they should be eating, and it's important that farmers grow pulses so that more food can be produced without the use of insecticides and pesticides. And I think we need to spare a thought for all of these things because we are bringing so many children in this world, and they're going to be alive for the next 100 years, and we have to leave behind a better world. Not something where we were eating foods out of greed or out of the greed sometimes even to get skinny, but out of compassion. So we need to build a food culture that is worth inheriting.
Absolutely. Ours is definitely.
Ours is, yeah. But we need parents who are practicing it. There are people who say, "Mera beta khali junk khata hai." I say, "Tum kya khate ho?"
Yeah, that's the most important. And in our home, too, we are very particular about this. I mean, of course, I'm in Saif, of course, now ever since, Guru Rujuta has been providing him with lots of diets and information. It's a lot of simple home food that is just prepared. So whether it's, even when it would come to Taimur's eating, it would just be like, a lot of, again, lauki and turi and basically our homegrown kind of vegetables.
Yes.
Post-pregnancy, we need a lot of patience to take care of our child. So any tips or food, what we can include in our diet?
I think that basically, the idea is that also to be satisfied, you have to also balance your meals and eating every 2 hours. Give you that energy that you require. And of course, once you have the energy, you automatically that happy mood which gives you that zest to do things for your child, keep you on your toes because you're constantly, people who don't have help are constantly on their toes with their baby. So you have that. So that's where Rujuta comes into play and her diet comes into play
And the book.
and the book of course, which will have all the information.
Yeah. Because eating every 2 hours is important. You need a constant supply of glucose to the brain to stay calm, to stay reasonable, to stay cheerful, happy. Because if you do get annoyed with your baby, then in the next few seconds you're feeling very, very guilty. You start feeling I'm being a terrible mother. And I think the last thing that any mother needs is a guilt trip. Because you're already doing so much, So one of the easiest ways to prevent a guilt trip is to eat often and to really calm your senses, a little bit of jaifar, if you have that in your cup of milk.
Your what?
Jaifar, nutmeg.
Nutmeg,
Yeah.
You had said you're giving me
Yeah.
nutmeg and milk. That's also very good.
Yeah.
Bedtime.
Because then it lets you sleep properly and it lets you calm down. You're not.
And it burns fat.
And it burns fat. And it helps improve the brain. Because sometimes, women feel that they've gotten a little slow post-baby. Like in their minds, they feel like memory loss ho raha hai, ya sometimes I enter the room but I've forgotten for what. So because you can be so preoccupied with the whole act of raising a baby that certain foods really work.
So there's a question online about stretch marks post-pregnancy. So what to do about that?
I think also, I don't know why, I believe, of course, Vijita must address this, but I believe that also stretch marks have a lot to do with your genetics, is what I feel. Like, I luckily never had that issue because my mum also never had it. And somehow my mum was also very active during both her pregnancies and was Karishma. So I don't know, I feel it's genetic, so maybe it could be, that's why I didn't have that issue, but I know a lot of people do.
Correct. I think a lot also depends on what kind of muscle tone are you carrying before you really, expand in your size. If you do have adequate muscle tone, then you're not going to be having your stretch marks. And in case you do, then things like a massage with til oil, which has always been a part of care that's provided to mothers post-pregnancy. Really helps you get rid of things like stretch marks. And then, like Kareena is saying, regular exercise, toning up, so that your stretch marks completely disappear. A lot of women are scared because they feel that because they have read this in so many places that stretch marks don't disappear ever.
I've also heard that you can apply ghee.
Yeah, of course. So anything which is like rich in
Til oil, ghee, which will probably suck the fat, or I'm sure it works.
it provides all the micronutrients to the skin that it needs to give that glow on the surface of the skin and not have an uneven appearance.
Many women suffers like postpartum depression and hirsutism also sometimes. So
What do you suffer? Postpartum?
hirsutism, like
Postpartum depression and hirsutism is when they have hair.
Okay.
On
so
their
like you told about hair fall and all, but some people
Have the
suffer
reverse, yes.
of it. Like what do you suggest in now pregnancy?
Unfortunately, it's the reverse of it, is that they're still losing hair from the head, but getting
somewhere.
hair on the chin or
That
on
means
the
there's
back.
simply hormonal changes taking
Yes,
place.
yes. So the key to prevent these things is to eat right throughout the pregnancy. I think a lot of women think that अभी तो मैं pregnant हो गई हूँ, अभी मैं एक दिन आइसक्रीम खाती हूँ, फिर कल chocolate खाती हूँ, because they think now.
But of course, there are days that when you do that. Of course,
I
I
have.
have.
Yeah, but not as an excuse.
Not every day.
Yeah, and as a decision, not like चलो हर रोज ही दबाते हैं.
No. I think it was like once in 10 days, once a week.
Yeah, that is totally fine. That's a part of the whole regimen. But just eating random things increases the propensity of having hormonal imbalances. Otherwise, if you looked after yourself throughout your pregnancy, then nothing will happen post-pregnancy. In fact, the minute you deliver, you would have shed most of your weight, and then in the next 3 to 4 months, you're back to your regular size. I mean, look at her; she's back to her size. What she used to be. Maybe even looking even better and younger. I think. No,
Maybe it's the ghee.
Better than that.
Yeah. Maybe it's the ghee. Maybe it's just you. It's like, is it? What was that ad? Is it Dove? No, it's love.
Yeah. much like the same diet every 2 to 3 hours. We're eating something or the other. Small meals, interesting meals. We try to keep it as interesting. Now that she's mentioned this nutmeg milk, I think we should include this.
Yeah, we'll do it now again. Yes. Which again, reminds me that one more person came up to me at the San Francisco at the open day and said, "Listen, I'm an events person, and Kareena made me run around to farmers markets for getting fresh strawberries." I said, "Very good. So now you know what to buy."
Yeah. Part of that was like, go and get me some strawberries.
She's like, "No, go to farmers market." I said, "Chalo, acha hai." So really just eat locally.
Yeah,
wherever she
wherever.
is.
It's also like I like shooting in Bombay and around Bombay because then it's easy. I want home food. So even if I'm at shoot, I would like a simple, basic, very basic. Sometimes rice, dal, sabzi, or then roti, sabzi, dal. Nothing out of the box is being cooked. That I'm saying that kuch grilled chicken aa raha hai ya kuch ye fancy, nothing like that. I'm very basic, and even if I come home after a hard day's work, I'm just looking forward to the fact that I'm just going to have like a little bit of khichdi and a good night's sleep.
Yeah. So it's not that she's eating one thing when she's at home and eating another thing when she's at work, because
in fact she doesn't. I always tell her that give me na soup to eat, give me na soup, only I'll have soup. And she's always like, no, why soup? Like last time I was like, no, give me. She was like, but why do you want to eat that? I was like, no, I think I should just like reduce the food and like not just cut down on this. So then finally, I think 3-4 days we did a good run of like 10 days, but we were still eating a lot.
Eating every
like in the evening there was a lot of food before. But otherwise, I don't think you're very for the fact that just have a soup and go to bed.
No, because if you eat very low on calories, then the next day when you're exercising, your body will not let you burn calories because it has felt that there is a deprivation or deficiency, and that is something which most people miss. They are like, जितना कम खाएंगे उतना जल्दी thin हो जाएंगे. But actually, how many calories we burn during our exercise really depends on how well fed we are. If you're not eating right, then you will not get the results that you want out of your workouts. Which is why a lot of people feel like मैंने बहुत exercise किया, कुछ नहीं हुआ, तो I am giving up on exercise. Okay, don't give up on exercise. Just eat better, and then in less than half the exercise, you will have a better body.
Exercise is like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yes. Yeah, so you've been
Not
very
more.
balanced about that also. You should tell.
Well, I love the idea of just going to the gym. And it's not like, that 3-4 hours of training or whatever. The idea is also sometimes that you like to go, I have company, I go with my friends, so I'm always like, it's nice to just get that 1 hour of, your time when you go, and at the same time as if you get in a little bit of a 45-minute workout. I think that's great.
Yeah, you can also come back with all the latest fads and diets. And
of course, and then I tell you everything.
So she told me the latest was zoodles. Which is zucchini ka noodles banane ka.
Yeah, everyone's eating that, no?
Yeah, but it's a fad.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Torture yourself so that you will look thin. It's like saying, if you really hate your husband, then your marriage will work. It's not going to. You have to love the guy, you have to love the food that you're eating. That's the way to
of course, absolutely.
Well-being.
So we'll take one last question, then we'll wrap up online. So the question is that I'm trying to get pregnant for the last 1 year. What could I do?
I think the right person to ask the woman who penned the book herself. She has to answer this so that I should also know this.
Well, like I was saying, that both the husband and wife,
The diet must play a big role in that.
Yes.
Okay,
Husband and wife both have to stay fit. Because you need good eggs, you need sperms which are really fast. And
the swimmers.
Yes. In fact, we have Ashish out here. So both Ashish and his wife were really not, planning for any kind of pregnancy or whatever. But they were both eating right and working out.
Wife is also here.
Yeah.
She was here the one with the baby.
Oh, the baby.
So this is
How
their
many
first
months?
son.
Yeah.
How
For
long?
6 weeks.
2 months.
2 months. See? I was on Rujum diet. Khichdi.
Yeah. Dal khichdi, dal rice. Very khichdi hai. Same diet as you.
But he did the trick.
I know.
Again a workout.
Yeah. So I'll tell you maybe a little story which is already there in the book. So once I was on a flight and I was listening to a Qawwali, and the Qawwali was on the Madam Mast calendar. And then sometimes in a Qawwali there are like dialogues between two people. So the story is that there is one fakir who has 100% success rate in getting people pregnant. Okay. So there are two sisters who are married for 14 years and both of them don't have a baby. So someone tells them, why don't you go to this fakir, he has 100% success rate. So they both go to the fakir. And the fakir says, listen, you have to do nothing. All that you have to do is eat this date in the morning. So he gives the date, one date each to both the sisters. And then a year later, one sister gets a baby and the other one doesn't. So when she gets the baby, she has to go back to the fakir to say thank you. So both the sisters go. And the fakir says, how come there is just one baby? There should be two. So they say, no, there is like just your 100% success rate is now 50% because only I got the baby and the other one did. So then the fakir says, did you eat the date to the woman who has not gotten pregnant? And she says, no, I have just left it by the hill. And he says, now you go running to the hill because when you kept the date, there is a baby there. So the reason why you have these kind of stories which are told through sometimes Qawwalis or sometimes through Purans or Shastras and stuff is because they are trying to simplify the message. And the message here is that you don't just need Shraddha and the divine and sex with your partner, but you also need good food so that you will finally have the baby. Because if you don't have good food, then just Shraddha and sex is not getting good. Dates. I love dates. Yeah, you were eating dates.
I like.
So maybe you can now just say something about the book and then close.
I think that tomorrow is going to be quite amazing. Everybody's so excited. I think globally everybody's so excited. And from the bottom of my heart, I really, of course, Rujita being there has helped us all so much. But I really hope that this one's a bigger success than
don't lose your mind. All right, thank you. So we will also, maybe try and do at least a 5-minute live tomorrow from the book launch place. And I'm really, really happy and grateful for everyone who has joined in. And a special thanks to all of Kareena's fans and fan clubs across the globe.
Yeah.
And I promise them that I'll bring you to all of their cities.
Why not? I love traveling.
Okay, thank you.